Oh, God.
Look at that, say dick.
I know, I'm sure.
Nor did they say tall like a ladder, nor did they show us that in Elf.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
That would be a perfect David Chappelle skit. I could see him doing it.
Mama,
It's tall like a ladder.
what does this mean?
Meanwhile, the mom comes in and jacks her son off. This is all you gotta do.
Yeah, here you go, boy. Let's put on a rubber glove.
Have a good day.
Cross the line.
No, but that's what they would do to, like, make it over the top. It's disgusting.
I used to love Health, though, when it would be, like, secret ballot questions.
Oh,
And it'd be like,
curled in my lap.
they'd pull it out of a hat so they wouldn't know who it'd be. It'd be like, when I sleep, sometimes something comes out. What does that mean?
And what should I do with it once it's out?
Yeah. Well, boy.
Well, lad.
I remember actually sitting in 7th grade, and this is when HIV first, like, it was like the first case in, like, the states that was, like, open, I guess. And they were like, it was just, I just remember it. That's all. We were like, what do you mean there's no cure? What? Like,
I
it
just
was
remember
bad.
my health teacher in, like, middle school was so hot. So it
Was
made everything
she?
both more enjoyable and more awkward all at once.
I got kicked out of health class once because we were doing CPR training, and I filled the mouth with all of the rubbing alcohol.
Oh.
And then they're like, all right, you gotta hit the chest. And so I'd go, and it went like all over other dolls. You're out of here. I thought that was funny. Nope.
Did anybody skip class?
I'd skip fifth
I
period every
skipped
so often.
school. Just all together the whole day. My senior year, I never, ever went to school.
My, like, chorus teacher.
What did you do?
She would just write us out.
Not
You could be
school.
written out of each class once per week for a music lesson. So we would just be hanging out or whatever, and she'd just send pass to the
Jessica,
office,
when
like,
it's
you
supposed
know.
to start already.
Yeah,
No, you're holding
Jessica.
forever. No, I'd get threatened by
It's
the
been
office
2 hours
ladies
since they
because,
woke
like, my school was so small and they knew everybody and stuff, and they'd be like, Danielle, do you plan on graduating? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you might want to start coming to school. I never went to school. I know. I'll come back next year.
Next year.
Did you take the tests?
What test?
Obviously not.
Oh, tests in school? Yeah, I'd go to test days. Or I'd make it up.
Yeah, I tried to do that in college, and there was a room change, and then I couldn't find where to go.
That's
I
funny.
didn't go until it was a test on the syllabus, and then I showed up, and it was like, there's no one here. This can't
Did
be.
you actually do good on the test if you didn't go?
I did.
Yeah.
I know some people can do that.
I didn't pay
like, they
attention
can
when I
just,
went anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like, take the test and be okay.
I sure couldn't.
Not me.
I
It
had
would-
to
I also
it
didn't
would
do the
depend on what
reading
class it
or
was,
pay
though,
attention to the
too.
lecture.
Some classes I had to go to like understand, but other classes it's like I don't learn anything in here anyway.
Yeah. Well, I have to like have it in my brain. Yeah.
The more I hear it and talk about it and interact, yeah.
You raise your hand in class, I do too.
Oh, you know I do.
Hate
I
those people.
disagree with that. Yeah.
It's mainly just when I don't understand, but
Science was easy.
I'm gonna tell you the worst was psychology. That was my concentration, my minor.
I took a minor in
Ridiculous.
that.
I thought it was gonna, like I was saying, I thought it was gonna be, learn people's minds. It was stats. Oh, I was so disappointed.
I thought a lot of it was bookwork for me.
Yeah, and
Abnormal was interesting, and then there was like sexual interactions was one of them.
we
Did you
didn't
take
have
that one?
that. We didn't have that.
I took sports psychology. That was fun.
I just remember
It was
stats.
like, when you
stats,
lose a
stats. I
game,
was like, what the hell
what do you
did I
tell
get
your
myself
team?
into?
I loved
God.
it.
My
Stop.
hardest class was German because the first day I
Stop.
go in there, the teacher just starts talking to you in German, and everybody's like, "This is like the beginning class, right?" Like I swear, everyone's looking at each other like that. Our quizzes, our tests are all the directions and instructions are in German.
Wow.
So if you didn't know, I didn't even know what to
Wow.
do. Like it was the hardest thing ever.
Checking your schedule, intro to German, yeah, not German 1 or 2.
It was
Okay.
awful.
Yikes.
And my teacher was
sure.
like overweight, and the room was so hot all the time. And I kid you not, was just like sweating profusely,
That's how I
dripping
trained
everywhere.
teacher
Oh,
was.
In high,
it's so hard to look at them.
in high school, my Spanish teacher became faint and passed out on top of me, and she was obese.
On top of you?
She
There's
just-
that kid
she
that
just
stuff
goes,
happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, didn't really know what to do if I should touch her or not. And like, And then she
Oh, you
comes,
broke her.
then she comes to, and he's like bracing herself and just goes, I almost just crushed Derek. And I was like, lady, you have no idea.
I
You
remember
really
we had
did.
this one
This was in college.
No, in high school.
one teacher in high school, English teacher. She would always wear the muumuus.
Yeah.
And
What are moo-moos?
That's hot.
like
Like what Mrs.
nightgowns,
Roper
if
wore?
you will. Yeah, Mrs. Roper, right.
Big
Except
dresses.
big,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Not even a dress, no,
It's
just
just a
material.
covering for
yeah.
a large person.
Ponchos.
Yeah.
More like that, yeah.
Really
Just
big.
a drape,
really
basically.
big.
Old ladies wear 'em.
And then like she had like two. Of course, she had like two moles that stuck out on both sides.
And
So
hair sticking out of 'em.
no, luckily they
Yeah,
did
that's
it. But
the worst.
Ah.
everybody would always say like those are her knobs. They were like pull her knobs.
Ew.
But, I remember one of like my best friends in high school. When she wasn't there, and she was very rarely because she didn't move. It's not one of those women that walked the classroom. She had sat in the front and did the lesson the whole time.
Yeah.
But when she was at the door for something, he put chalk dust in her coffee, and we were all waiting. Sure enough, she drinks it. And we're like, ew! She was none the wiser. She was like, what? And like she would always be like, okay, now, always. Like nothing fazed her, nothing. So
The best were any teachers that, like, you know, some sort of, you know, abnormality like that or whatever. I had one who just like spoke all crazy. But, Yerrick. Do you have a dishwasher? Because if you did. Oh, and also it was in economics class, and he went to my dad as a patient, so he'd always use it. Let's went to Dr. Stein, and he gave me 3 fillings. Is that supply or demand? We'd be like, that's nothing. Just stop talking about my dad. Go away.
please. What about, did you guys ever have like
Get a
those kids
maintenance crew.
who didn't like certain teachers, and when the door was closed, they would kick the shit out of it? Okay, that was just my.
What, of the
Wait,
teacher?
what?
What now?
Like if they didn't like the teacher, you be in
They'd close
class
the door
and
and
the
beat
door
the
was
shit out of the
closed.
teacher?
They would like kick the door is closed to the classroom, but like if it was a teacher that they didn't like, you'd be there, right? And then you hear something, you go, like
No.
they would
That's like the
like
BD class.
kick
I think you
the
meant they'd beat the
crap
shit out of the
it.
They
teacher.
kick the door on the
confused.
outside.
On the
Yeah, like to,
outside,
like,
just
disrupt it.
say I hate you.
Get a
Like,
maintenance crew.
Nice.
yeah, it was, yeah. Guess welcome to the jungles,
Something
right?
smells